I've run out of ketchup, okay?
Yeah.
This is a thing that happens in life, okay? Mm-hmm. It doesn't make me a good person.
OMG, bro.
Oh my God, like I'm the king of Persia right now. Who was more hairy, the Persians or the Greeks? it was like, oh my God, it was like a chest hair off.
That's just a total racism. I never saw something like that in all my life.
Dubai Mall has face control, basically.
Yeah.
I just want some ketchup! There must have been a moment where they looked in the mirror and said, oh, come on now! Come on! Yo! Welcome to the Big English Stand-Up Show. My zapisываем. Welcome to the Big English Stand-Up Show.
Oh.
My name is Steve Foreman. I'm here with Evgeniy Chebatkov.
Hey, everybody.
Evgeniy Chebatkov.
Buenos días, señoras y señoritas. ¿Cómo estás?
Muy bien.
Steve.
Muy bien.
¿Qué tal? Muy bien.
Yeah. Let's not punch people in the ears with our shitty Spanish any longer. Hello, everybody.
Jesus.
Jesus, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I had the joke on stage, some crowd work about how, you know, I think it's amazing that Spanish people in the Spanish-speaking world, they have a child, right? What shall I call him? Jesus, of course. Like, what? They still call their kids Jesus.
Why not?
You're feeling pretty confident in that moment.
Yeah.
Pretty manly, because that makes you God. El Dio.
Yeah, that's for them. It's not strange. It's strange why you are not calling your kids Jesus in the whole all of the world.
Why not?
Yeah,
you did it, huh? You did it. You had the hanky-panky with the lady. She had baby. Call him Jesus, huh? No? No? That's a very good point. I like the way you flip that. Yeah. So anyway, I can tell you, yesterday, guys, if I'm acting a bit weird, yesterday I went to get the my wisdom tooth pulled out. Now let me tell you quickly. The one on the left just came straight out, like pink. No, that was 2 years ago.
Okay, yeah.
So I was expecting the other one to just come out like whoop.
Yeah.
No. I was there for an hour. I was there for an hour. He was pulling it. He didn't give me enough anesthetic. I was screaming.
No.
The nurse, the head, I don't know who she was, but she was quite a kind of lady. She ran in. She heard the screaming, and she said, "Right, what's going on?" Because I'm scaring all the other customers in the changing room with my screaming. Yeah, and she comes in, gives me a couple of pills, give me some other stuff. So, right, that's it. You calm down now. And I'm like, "What are you supposed to do?" And they were pulling it, and yesterday I was just like an invalid. I mean, you know, just spitting blood all day, and stitches. I've got stitches.
Oh no! I
you don't want to see?
I don't.
Are you sure you don't want to see? Because I can show you if you want.
100%. I don't want to see it. Okay.
So, but I'm much better today, thank God. But I'm just a little bit traumatized. So, dental surgery and childbirth, still two things where we still it's still painful, yo.
Yeah.
When's the last time? That's an interesting question to ask. When's the last time you screamed in pain?
Wow, screamed in pain. I remember that moment. Very nervous, and I felt really big pain. There's a game, and the game called Sekiro. Have you ever heard about it?
No, sir.
Okay, video game Sekiro. That's the same from Dark Souls. Have you ever heard about Dark Souls games? Okay, so guys, if you probably heard something about Dark Souls or Sekiro, you definitely already understand what I'm talking about. But now I'm gonna explain to a normal people. Yeah. Okay, because Sekiro and Dark Souls, that's kind of free games.
Yeah.
Why they're free games? Because they are super difficult. They are so difficult. You just like, no, it's not possible to be the game so difficult for whom you made it. And then you understand, because that game is made by Japanese for Japanese. So, and if you are white boy,
Yeah.
you don't need to go there. but if you did, that's your problem. Now you have to deal with that.
Is it just me, or does this sound like the first scene in some kind of horror movie? Everybody, like, he's going to talk me into coming with him somewhere. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Black Mirror, new episode. Okay, so the idea is just you just try to beat your enemies, just like every single game, but your enemies, they want to live really, really hard, and they can kill you from 1-2 shots, just beat at you, and you die immediately, and you die, and you start from very beginning, like from the whole level from the beginning.
Right.
So and the problem is when you are really confident in every move, you really concentrated on everything what you're doing, and you already made a big progress, and I don't know how you call them, but just some character just throw stone in you and you die immediately, in a second. Boom, you die. You die from very beginning. And I just throw my controller in the wall. And that's so untypical for me.
Yeah.
But I spent like several hours to finish this level, and that was the end actually of my career in that game. I throw and I screamed, and I felt a really big pain in the second. I mean, it's not actually physically, but that's mental pain, which is also, I mean, very painful.
Okay.
I suffered a lot. So Sekira, if we got somebody who's listening us, who's somehow connected with producing this game or designing this game, you know what I want to tell you.
No, what's the message? So I've been meaning to ask you.
Okay.
I had this question I wanted to ask you. Like, so you're a Russian comic, doing English in English sometimes, right? Mm-hmm. Can you tell us, do you feel the difference between different humor in America, UK, and Russia? I'm sure you've thought about it a little bit, but
yeah,
what can you say about that?
Well, man, I think about it for a long time, and I think in my Russian stand-up comedy, I'm always trying in the beginning, especially. I try to imitate some American style humor, not jokes themselves, but the constructions. And I don't know, maybe there is a real answer, which is theoretically you can understand how the structure is different, for example, or something. But for me, it's more about feeling. And what I can definitely tell you that in Russia, there's a huge, as I'm always saying, huge caveman influence, and their type of jokes. No, seriously, their type of jokes is very specific.
It's so depressing.
Yeah. I mean, okay. You feel what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Those type of jokes, you heard them, and you just don't know how. Well, you're like, okay, this is a caveman type joke. I don't know, and you never heard it from comedian in UK or in States, just because there's no such a game, such an idea how to create jokes in that way. And I guess that's the point why, for example, all more or less successful comedians in Russia, Russian speakers comedian, they never played in caveman for a real long time, or they never played at all. as Alexei Sherbakov. He never played. That's his type of humor, just his own way. I guess it's more about personality and your personal things, and what I'm fighting for right now in the project Stand Up Tente. What is my big fight? I respect all people who work in there, but they always opposite with me in one issue. Is that they're all saying, why are you sharing too much personal information in the jokes? That's too much.
What?
Yeah. They always kept saying, you have to bring on the stage something which should be understandable for every person in the crowd.
Absolutely not.
You've got your personal stories.
It's outrageous.
But that's happened to you, and people, they don't interest in what they have. They should recognize themselves in your performance.
I'm shocked.
And that's...
Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, from my point of view, obviously.
Yeah.
From a Western point of view, that's outrageous.
And I'm always, that's already 5 years. But, in that fighting, we always got, in the end, we've got the result when I'll bring my personal shit, and I want to share it, and I believe that's the only thing which I'm interested in, and if I'm interested in, people would be interested if I'll have jokes also, because this is stand-up comedy how I feel, but they wanted the structures which builds on the insides of people, and it's like everybody, hello everybody. You all saw that type of ladies on the dates. And you all been in such situation. And everybody's got a granddad who always kept saying, and that's, always just you trying to be interactive, always trying to be together, and like, everybody, right? Everybody, right? But for me, it's more about some loneliness on the stage when they just watching and watching me and my live performance, and that should be with every comedian, his story. Just like, what is your story? Just tell us. That's what is interesting for me. So, and I believe that's the main difference. But speaking about UK comedians, well, I don't know. I think in the UK, it's more a question to you first of all. But I think in the UK, a huge diversity of comedians and humor, and well, I don't know. It's so different, and so many, kind of freak comedy also, which is already on the up to come new level. This there's a basic comedy, if we would say, and this is like a new up to comedy. So many comedy, and that's the biggest problem in Russia, by the way, because there are some stand-up comedians who try to perform in some how they call it alternative way.
Really?
Yeah.
There's an alternative comedy scene starting in Russia.
Yeah. And
I don't like the sound of that.
But you know what I'm saying? The problem is we don't have normal comedy yet, but we already got alternative. That's
right.
That's ridiculous.
Okay.
What do you think about Russian stand-up? Is it changing? Is it become better or worse?
Speaking to you now, man, I mean, I'm getting this sense that KVN is like this big dark shadow, which is still kind of hanging over everybody in some way.
But excuse me, can I ask you about KVN?
Yeah,
because you've got more experience than me. But if you did you participated in writing jokes, or that was more for you just more to act and just to appear on the stage, or you were getting together and writing that? Like how that was working?
I didn't really write. No, not really.
So it's
because obviously
that
these
was
guys are really
people.
experienced joke writers, so I left it to them.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought the whole thing was a joke, really. I mean, the only reason I went back the second time, was a couple of the guys I thought were quite nice. They're quite nice guys, but They're not actually.
Really?
It turns out. And the only reason I went back the second time. Have you ever done this? The only reason you go back a second time because you've got this really strong thing inside you, thinking, well, you can't quit after the first time. Like I felt like, no, I'm not going to quit after the first time. You never do something once and then quit. So that was the main reason I went back second time. And I went back second time and I thought, yeah, no, this is shit. This is. I should.
This is the same feeling like Vladimir Putin is still in power. Yeah.
But what are you asking me? You want to know the process or what? Or
how the process just looks like. I mean, I really don't know how the team is actually getting prepared for performance. How they. I don't know. It's that. Somebody just sit in the right, I don't know, 2-3 persons wrote all jokes and like, okay, guys, this is the script. No?
So this is what there's a group of about 5 performers and a couple of what they call authors, so comedy writers. There's like 7 dudes sitting around in a hotel lobby, right? Mm-hmm. They get up real early as well. It's 9 a.m. start.
Yeah.
Which for a performer is a very early start, by the way, everybody. And then they just start going, right, so now there's 3 things that they are performing for. There's the miniature, a little scene. So there's structure of 3 things. The little scene, little bit of drama. There's a musical number. And then the third one, I don't even remember because guess what? I don't care.
Yeah.
So there was 1, 2, 3 different performances that they are preparing for. Each one is about 5 to 7 minutes.
Okay.
So they start brainstorming, then they break up into groups. One group goes over there, one group goes over there. We'll be back in 15 minutes. They brainstorm together, they brainstorm back. They start building this little idea. Like, for example, there was one scene where I think the scene is that there's a guy who wants to jump off the building. He wants to commit suicide.
Yeah.
Okay. And another guy comes, and he has hired out this roof. This roof thing. It's got flowers. There's a table. There's wine and everything. He's actually rented this space because his girlfriend is on her way. Her girlfriend is on her way, and he's going to propose to her.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the situation. But there's a guy standing over here, and he's going, "I'm going to do it." And the guy's like, "Go jump! Look, mate, if you're going to jump, just do it now because my girlfriend's on her way, and I've got so just make your mind up. Just don't make a mess. Don't make a fuss. Blah blah. Wait a minute. You're supposed to be talking me out of it, aren't you? And all this. And then we found out that somebody completely stole that idea. Really? By the way, yeah. It's almost word for word, and it was done about 5 years ago.
Also in Cavan or somewhere?
I think also in Cavan. Can you imagine? One of the comedy writers just stole a piece he'd seen a few years ago and introduced it into our team wholesale. But they didn't know until later, and everyone forgot. So that's an example. Then they try and think of a musical number.
Yeah.
Right? And they made me sing Elton John, The Lion King. But they changed the lyrics. Like, in the Western world, like in civilized countries, we have this thing called copyright. You know what I mean? You can't just take someone else's intellectual property and just do whatever you want with it. But anyway, I was singing an Elton John song with the lyrics that they had changed to fit what they were singing about, and they were like making fun of, gay Europa, Europeans being gay, all being gay, and not being able to control their Muslims or something like that. And I'm just like looking at them going, really, guys? Serious? Really? Is this what we're doing? All right. Whatever. And then they just brainstorm. And do you know this part? This is the most shocking part.
Okay.
This went on for about 5 days. This went on for 5 days. They spent 5 days building 15 minutes of material with about 7 people. All right. And twice a day or once a day, you would go to redakция, and these two of the glummest men you've ever seen in your life sit at a table like this. I go, давай. And then you perform the whole thing in front of them, and they just go, no, yeah, but change the end. No. Yeah, just I don't like the song. No.
Really?
No, and they just throw out.
Oh.
They throw out 75% of the stuff that you've just spent all day. 9 of you, 7 of you, 9 of you have spent doing, and they just get rid of it. And you got to go back and come up with something else because there's some kind of guidelines of political correctness, and you know, in line with kind of old school Russian Soviet issue, you know, values, and. It's just so wasteful. That was the word I used for them. I said, wasteful. This is so wasteful. We stand-ups, I said, once you've done stand-up, you cannot go back to this sketch writing, Soviet Union sketch writing shit. Because you have an idea, you put it on stage, people laugh or they don't. It's nice and binary. But I still like that idea. Maybe I can improve it.
Yeah.
Will they last next time?
And if you want, you can change the end. If you don't, you should... Oh my God.
If you want, you can change anything you want. You don't have to wait until 5 o'clock that afternoon to find out if somebody likes it or not. And I just remember thinking, man, this is bullshit.
But, you know, what is the most horrible thing in all that? When you, for example, when you're doing that for a few times, or if you're a student and you just want to hang out with somebody, but when you're doing that for 20 years,
I think so.
And you're like, this is a game of my life. That's
no, that's the kind of guys I was with. But I remember thinking, because you do have to do comedy, you do have to write, you do have to dance, you do have to sing. And I did think to myself, this is a good way to get into the performing arts. But it's just too severe.
I heard too many stories from just people around me who work in the comedy club production who said, well, you know, I'm from the shittiest place you just can't imagine. My hometown is just horrible. It's Челябинская область. You know, it's just the smallest place, and everybody's doing drugs and criminal. And stand-up, and not stand-up, and Kevin. And Kevin was the only one chance to leave that place. So that's why that's the game of my life, because I started playing Kevin, and I moved to Moscow and become a big person in that game. Well, that point works for me. I mean, that's definitely a good point. But anyway, come on, all this family, which is controlled everything in that game.
Are you serious?
I mean, all what I heard about that is there's one family, MacLeod. They controlled all the structure from just to the top, from every point, everywhere they control it, and they control it really hard, just very very aggressive way. Also, reminds me something.
Right.
I mean, when the huge big structure controlled by one man and his family, you know, that's like a simulation.
Yeah, Donald Trump.
Yeah.
So I've met my first. I think this is my first high functioning alcoholic. I'd never met one before. I'd only heard about them, and there'd been jokes about it on TV and stuff like that. But so this is people who are alcoholic, but they don't necessarily lie around in the streets or whatever. They have a job.
Okay.
They contribute to society, more or less. They have an income. But they're pretty much always drunk. It's been absolutely fascinating, actually, to spend time with someone like that. Because I've that's the thing. Like, you get into comedy and you meet, you meet people who have things which I'd never met anyone before. Like before I'd met, I'd never met anyone with a narcissistic personality disorder. You know what I mean? I mean, it's extraordinary. Okay. And then you go on Google and you just read, like, watching loads and loads of clips about this psychopathy, sociopathy, narcissistic personality disorder, vulnerable narcissism. There's all these different things. And you're just, like, ticking. You're going, yeah, that's exactly what he does. Yep, that,
well, yeah. that's line up for today. That's today's stand-up club.
And it's just amazing. Like, I've met... I have in my journey in comedy. I've met people with serious issues. I would say. I always thought I was the one with the. I thought I was the funny one, but no, not even close. So this guy is just extraordinary. Going about your usual day, out comes a little bottle of whiskey, like, and just it's like proper. Because you only see it in the movies, don't you? You don't.
Yeah,
I've never actually. And then after a while, I started noticing that, he. I've never met anyone who talks out of his ass more in my entire life. Mm-hmm. So, in English, we say when you're talking out of your ass, it means. You're just talking about things you don't know anything about. Mm-hmm. You just double down. You just keep talking. And who does that? The drunk sitting at the end of the bar. In every pub in Britain, there is a drunk guy. Let's call him Brian. Mm-hmm. Right? And Brian comes in. You come in and he's like... And everybody just thinks... Everyone has the same reaction. They're like, don't pay any attention to... Brian, it's just Brian.
Yeah.
He doesn't have anything else, He just let him sit there.
Yeah.
And kind of go and just go, yeah, sure, Brian. How are you today? And then and that's it. He's the local drunk. Mm-hmm. He sits there and talks shit about stuff he doesn't know anything about. That's his job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's what this guy is like too. Like he just starts talking. And you're just sitting there going. How much longer are you going to go?
Do you know what's the guy's profession? This you've met? What he's doing?
He works in marketing, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's why marketing in Russia so bad. Well, they all drunk. But that's good. He's working in marketing. Yeah. Of course, yeah. I mean, it's good he's not like a truck driver or something,
That's true.
Or something more connected with other people's lives.
Yeah. That's true. No, he can function. That's the thing. That's the key difference. He can function. He can do his job. Although I was speaking to this one lady, she told me about her colleague who's another high-functioning alcoholic, but apparently he's a genius. Mm-hmm. He's so good at his job. But he does just disappear for 3 days, and everyone just knows he's on the piss somewhere. And then he comes back. Mm-hmm. But apparently this was perfectly normal in the Soviet Union to do that.
Yeah.
No one ever got fired. Mm-hmm. You couldn't get fired in the Soviet Union, apparently, right? It was really hard because everyone was entitled to a job because everyone was building communism.
And that was not only in Soviet. That's or even in the past, just in the Russian Empire. There's a real fact that if you are for several days, you just decided you got to be drunk as hell, and you just and you're not visiting your job, not doing. That's okay, because if you prepared everybody and if everybody knows what happened, they like, he's just drinking right now. So, and that was officially a reason, which is so they, for example, we have a deal, okay, me and you, in that's the period, I don't know, 80th century, let's say.
Right.
We've got a deal, and we're selling something, and you're gonna buy it, and I'm gonna sell it, right. And we're gonna do it, and we're like, okay, meet me tomorrow here in Kitai Gorod, and and you are on the place and me are not, and you're asking where's me, where I'm right now, and if for example somebody said, well, he's forgot, that's the big problem. That's that's conflict. Yeah, you forgot. If for example I'm getting sick, that's also a problem. Like, why? You're not dying, right? You're just sick. Just bring it. We've got a deal, right?
Yeah.
But if somebody said, "Oh, he's drinking right now," that was that was officially a nice point, and nobody could be conflicted. And they like, "Oh, right." I can't be angry because I got drunk last week for 4 days. So.
Oh my god. Is that gulyanka?
Yes. No, actually, that calls zapoi.
Zapoi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gulyanka is something which is like a big party. Everybody's there.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I got it wrong.
No, that's okay. But with music, dance, and it's a lot of people.
Yeah.
But zapoi is just one person getting drunk, and people just call him zapoyny. You know that? They say, oh, he's zapoyny. So he's kind of person who can put himself in that situation when he just lost
3 days.
Yeah, just completely. And somebody, I heard some records for about weeks. So just like weeks, and some famous Russian Soviet people were like that.
Okay.
Vysotsky.
Right.
He was kind of that person.
Right.
Yesenin. Wow.
I watched this movie by accident a couple of weeks ago. It's called The Prince of Persia.
Oh,
Did you see it?
Of course.
Now, I was very upset because now I like the actors. I like Jake Gyllenhaal for Jarhead, amazing, and Donnie Darko, actually, great movies. And then who else was there? Toby Kebbell's brilliant, Black Mirror, fantastic, good actors. I like them all. But the problem was, I thought, oh, brilliant, Hollywood's making a film about Persia and maybe the Persian empires and we're going to see a little bit of that. And then, whenever they started talking to each other, first it was like, this guy, he is he runs, has this many thousand troops, and he's a conqueror of this, a conqueror of that. Now the problem was when the actors started talking, and they decided that nobody could have an American accent in that. So, oh my God, like I'm the king of Persia right now. Like that stuff doesn't work. So they tell all the American actors and all the British actors to speak in a British accent because that sounds more like a conversation. Ben Kingsley was in that movie. Ben fucking Kingsley. And so, but the problem was some of the younger actors then, when they were speaking, all they sounded like was like real drama school kids, Where's my makeup? They just sounded so soft. They didn't sound like guys that attack kingdoms and conquer kingdoms and I've been in
so
raiders. They all spoke like this. Don't talk to me like that.
They all imitated British accent.
They all had British accent. And from a guy from London, they just sounded like a bunch of drama school puffs.
Understand.
The kind of guys you just chase down the street, steal their sweets. And I was like, oh man, this isn't working for me. This isn't working for me.
I don't know why they're doing that if they can't do that really good.
Yeah.
It's just American accent is actually is nice for Persians now. Just like hey, I'm really Persian, but my family from Delaware and
real Persian housewives.
How you doing, guys? But I'm like, I feel like a Persian. But
oh my God, that was so Persian what you did right now. I
come to this home party and Mike. he brought some Greeks, and I was like, OMG, bro.
But who was
What an F.
Who was more hairy, the Persians or the Greeks? It was like, oh my God, it was like a chest hair off. Okay. Who are the hairiest? Question of the week, everybody. Is it the Greeks? Is it the Persians? Or is it the Armenians and Georgians? Okay, I want you. That's the question of the week. I want you to send some answers in. Please.
I'll bet it's Armenians, but
really,
yeah. I mean, I saw some of my friends, and
yeah.
I just like, wow, is it kind of joke or like?
I know, dude. I mean, when I go to the gym, I see these guys just completely covered in hair. Their whole back. There's one guy. He had shaved his neck. So his entire body is covered in hair, and his neck is shaved. So he's got like here upwards is completely white, and the rest is black.
Yeah,
I don't know what to think. I mean, just like I feel, it's not right to feel so. And what about the guys who are covered in hair, but they're bald on top? Like there must have been a moment where they looked in the mirror and said, "Oh, come on now, come on." What about those guys? I don't know what to think about it. I kind of feel sorry for them. Do they go for the full wax? What do they do? Oh wow. Yeah, apparently Armenians are strong on this. Yeah. So I'm going to Armenia in a few weeks. So I'm gonna check it out.
Wow, cool.
I'm going to an Armenian wedding.
Wow,
yeah.
That's a great experience.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah.
That's gonna be your first time in Armenia?
First time in Armenia, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I heard a lot of good things about them. Yeah, very, very nice food, very nice people, very, very calm.
Well, they're very funny, aren't they?
Yeah,
there's lots of good Armenian comedians.
Yeah, they've got this like comedy nature.
Definitely.
And also, I remember I read some article about Jewish people and Armenian people. What things they got in common is they're very, very very old nations, and they all got this special type of humor, and the both of them, they've got this very sad eyes. So when you look deep in the eyes, even when they telling jokes or making funny, Jewish and Armenians, they still looks a little bit sad, and that's like their common things, which wasn't that article.
They are very similar to the Jews because it's just like there's more of them outside Armenia than in, right?
Yeah.
And whenever I used to get a taxi driver and he was Armenian, that I would always make that joke to him. I'd be like, "Hey man, how come there's more Armenians outside Armenia than in Armenia?" And the reply is, "That's just our office." Right? And they go, my friend, and he shakes hands with me. He's like, yeah. I've run out of ketchup, okay?
Yeah.
This is a thing that happens in life, okay? It doesn't make me a good person. It doesn't make me a bad person. But I ran out of ketchup. So I went to the supermarket and I'm looking for the ketchup. And now, I mean, there's got to be over 100 types of ketchup now. I mean, I think we're in 3 figures now. Ketchup with chili, ketchup with garlic, ketchup with this, ketchup with that. And I'm just standing there going, oh, why did you do this? I don't have the time. It's even got down to ketchup. Like, I've complained about this on my radio show before. But, like, these people that seem to think that by giving you lots of choice, that they are somehow giving you something special, when actually what they're doing is taking away your time and your energy, because you're standing there, or I am, like comatose, going, which one do you want? Do you want this one? 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 And I'm just standing there going, I just want some ketchup. I just want some ketchup. If I'm not feeling fruity and imaginative, and I'm like, I'm in the mood to try a new kind of ketchup today. What happens to me? I'm just it drives me nuts, man.
Always good in Soviet times with ketchup.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you went in the ketchup, you're like, hey, can I have ketchup? And they're like, oh, no. Take a mayo. Yeah, too many choices of ketchup. That's aggressive marketing. And we already know that there are some people in marketing who are always drunk. So that's probably their way.
How long did you spend in Dubai this time, man?
Oh, that was 3 days.
3 days.
3 days, yeah.
Anything you noticed this time? Anything funny things happened there? They put you in a nice hotel.
Yeah, pretty nice hotel. Pretty nice hotel. And I like.
How many shows did you do? Just one?
One show, one big show in the theater. Yeah, and well, I was there with my girlfriend, and we were visiting a beach, and we just and we saw. Well, there's a special zone for hotel, hotel C part, and there was some guards standing on the left and the right side on the border, and because on the left and the right side already started just a public territories,
right?
And that was the period I was there. That was a period at the end of the holy Muslim month, and so that was a completely holidays and nobody worked, and so we saw on the left and on the right side we saw Pakistan and Indian people. It's like a lot of them.
Oh yeah, those
like
guys.
Looks like Rio, Mumbai.
Yeah.
That's how that looked like. And we in the zone of a hotel, we were swimming and just laughing, and they were one on one, just standing very close to each other, and guards stand with the big sticks and just screaming, and just kept saying to those Pakistan and Indian people not to swim in our territory, not to come close to the border, and they beat it on that border like. Hey,
Wow.
it kept saying like that, and we were swimming, and my girlfriend, she was like, Shane, how do you think they understand? Is that person from our hotel or that person from the public beach? How they see it if it's on the sea? And I goes, don't be so naive. On the skin color, of course. Because everybody who's white was in the hotel.
Sure.
If you're darker, that's puts you more to the public place. And probably spending 3 days in Dubai, that's the biggest racism I ever saw in my life. Because we visited Dubai Mall, me, my girlfriend, and one girl who was meeting us, and like a manager of all project. And there was a huge line of it. That was not even a line, like a big crowd of the people on the enter to this mall. And the guards were, no, nobody's coming. It's full. Nobody's gonna come. But then he saw me and like, Mister, please, you come. And I came in through like 200 people. And I like, why he invited us? And she's like, come on, you're white. And like, no way. I mean, of course that is in somewhere inside I feel like, wow, that's cool. But all my personality goes, what? Because I never saw something like that in all my life. When they obviously just, I mean, that's just a total racism when they like, oh.
And the guy letting you in was Arab.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. Yeah. It is kind of, there's this whole underclass in Dubai
and
who does all the shitty jobs.
In Dubai Mall, inside were only Arab people and white, different white people from different foreigners. Yeah. Let's say that way.
Were there any sort of Indian, Pakistani or anybody working in the shops?
No.
Also only whites and Arabs?
Yeah. they were standing outside looking inside of
No
this,
way. Inside the shopping mall.
inside the shop, try to see something.
And they can't get in just because of the color of their skin.
Yeah.
2021, people, huh? There we go. It is a funny place. I find Dubai a little bit creepy. I remember when I went there for about 5 days. I remember I got on the plane and I remember thinking, yeah, I don't need to go back there if I don't have to. Like I will, but I don't need to. It's just like a giant shopping mall. It's kind of soulless.
Yeah.
Fake plastic trees.
Too hot. I mean, it's too hot. That's too much.
What kind of temperatures did you have this time?
40.
Woo! It's unpleasant though, isn't it? It ruins the trip when you see things like that, right?
Yeah. I still kept thinking about that. I just remember all those faces, and I was going, and why? And the girl who were meeting us, she were living there for 8 years, and she really understood the mentality and how everything goes. And she's like, oh, but come on, why they should invite in that? They don't have really money to buy something very expensive. To buy more, it's very expensive, so there's no reason to invite them in because they just can't afford it. And
pure economics, baby.
And I'm like, well, but what if some of them are really rich and you just losing a client? Why is that? And she goes, no, hold a second. Oh, you see over there, and she showed me the guy, Pakistani or Indian, all covered in gold. And she's like, they recognize them. If they're rich, they just showing off it very, very much. So it's not like a European rich person who can be just, dressing in t-shirts and just walking like every person.
So it's Dubai Mall has face control, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, man. Let's wrap that up. Xenia, thank you for coming. Give me a touch.
Thanks, bro.
Good to see you again, man.
Thanks for the invitation.
We'll be back soon, everybody. Take care of yourselves.